Major League Baseball draft was this week, and Joe, I got to tell you, football, hockey, basketball, I don't know if anything is more of a crapshoot than the Major League Baseball draft. You see a Mike Piazza in the 62nd round, he's heading to the Hall of Fame. You see first rounders who never make it.
Yeah, it's so hard to figure out, and I think a lot of times it's because kids are drafted so young. You know, in football, they've played big-time programs. They've played 3 years, usually, in college. A basketball player has played 2 or 3 years in college. In baseball, you can be a high school kid, and you can be drafted, and it might take you 5 or 6 years. A guy like Slade Heathcote, a guy like John Ryan Murphy, it took them time, but here they are at 23, 24 years old in the big leagues. So a lot of times, they're in the big leagues about the same age. Maybe a college football player or a college basketball player starts to establish himself.
Could you look at a player, a kid, a 17-year-old, and say, big leaguer? Now, not whether or not he's a star or not, but can you see skills from that player?
You can see skills, but the hard thing to figure out is how are they going to adjust to playing every day? How is their body physically going to hold up? Are they going to continue to get stronger, or have they really maybe reached their peak? That's the hardest thing to predict. And that's why I'm glad I don't have to make those decisions.
Now, you see your kids a lot in spring training. Do you ever see a kid with so many skills and go, why hasn't it happened?
Oh, yes, you do. But you know that our game is so mental, as Yogi put it. I mean, it really is. And it's such a grind, and it's day after day, and it takes an incredible amount of focus. And it takes really a lot of luck to stay healthy. I mean, you can think about, you could get hit twice in the hand, like Curtis Granderson did the 1 year, and be on the 60-day DL. Well, that retards your progress for a whole year. And then sometimes you get behind and other people pass you up. You might be in a situation like with the Yankees where we got 5 or 6 young outfielders that are really good. We've seen 3 of them already this year in the big leagues. And we haven't seen the Aaron Judges and some of the other guys as well. So there's some luck involved.
How important is it to an organization that a high draft pick makes it, and maybe that swallows up the guy who's picked in the 8th round that might be good enough to play?
Well, I don't think they really care where it comes from, as long as their system is continuing to produce players that are very helpful at the big league level, because it balances out things. And obviously, the more players you can produce yourself, the more control you have of them for a longer period of time.
It's amazing. We had Rob Manfred in the booth the other day at the stadium, and they've tried to turn Major League Baseball's draft into an event. You just said earlier you got a phone call from the Cubs. I mean, there was no televised
There was
draft.
no event, but I wasn't a first-round pick either. So I mean, I was drafted on the second day. But I think it's great, and because the technology today, you get the video on all these kids, and we can actually watch them a little bit. And it's hard for us to predict what they're going to do on a 1-minute video, but it's kind of neat to watch.
Carlos Correa, a #1 pick, just gets called by the Astros. Gallo gets called up by the Rangers. We're seeing a lot of the young players come up. Why do you think that is right now?
Well, I think kids are playing so much. Maybe they're moving along, and you can get some college kids that move quickly too. They're pretty mature. They have a really good idea, especially pitchers. I think of a guy like Chris Sale. I mean, this was a guy that was in the big leagues really quickly. A guy like Chris Bryant didn't need a lot of time. He was very talented. So the kids are playing so much baseball now that they're a little bit more developed than maybe some of the other kids. But you got to worry about more injury.
Now, the Yankees have had good luck and bad luck with high draft picks. #1 was Brian Taylor, who was on the fast track to stardom, got in a fight, never made it to the big leagues. Derek Jeter was #6, and he's going to go to the Hall of Fame. Other first rounders, #1 picks: Darryl Strawberry, Ken Griffey Jr., Chipper Jones, Steven Strasburg, and Bryce Harper. It's not too bad. Usually you can score with the first pick.
Usually you can, especially if you're drafting early. If you're getting one of the first 5 to 10 picks, you got a really good chance of this kid's going to make it and be really successful. But after that, you might have the 16th pick. Is it a deep draft or is it not a deep draft? And you hope that it is.
I'm wondering, though, you're the manager of the Yankees. Do you even care about the draft pick? I mean,
yes, I do.
You do?
Yeah, because I know you have to.
But you might not see them for 4 years.
That's right. But I'm still going to pull for those kids and pull for the organization, because look at Lindgren. He's up already. Right. And this was a kid that was pitching college baseball last year at this time, and now he's here.